just... Sumimasen means excuse me.
That's correct, Hermione says, her tone filled with genuine praise. You're really absorbing these words. Here's the next word. Rokugatsu Taiseki. Do you know what that means?
No.
All right. Rokugatsu Taiseki means 6 months pregnant. Hermione says, her tone slightly softer, as if she's trying to be gentle in delivering the answer.
Nani so yo?
Here's the next word. Yokata. Do you know what that one means?
It means good.
That's correct, Hermione says, a small smile on her face. You're doing great. Here's the next word. Gambat. Do you know what it means? Here's the next word. Oni-chan. Do you know what that means?
Big brother.
That's correct, Hermione says, clearly pleased. You're catching on quickly. Here's the next word. Kohai. Do you know what that means?
It's a younger classmate, usually.
Spot on, Hermione says, a hint of admiration in her voice. You're doing great. Here's the next word. Senpai. Do you know what that means?
It's the reverse of kohai. It means an older classmate, typically.
Exactly right, Hermione says, her smile growing. You're on a roll. Senpai does indeed mean an older classmate, someone who's more experienced or senior to you. Here's your next word. Duzo. Do you know what that means?
Dozo means like please, but it can have multiple meanings.
You're spot on again, Hermione says, nodding in approval. Congratulations, you've grasped the multifaceted nature of Duzo. It does indeed mean please or go ahead, but can also be used as welcome or here you are. Well done. The next word is mata. Can you tell me what it means?
Again.
Sure, Hermione says with an amused laugh. The next word is mata. Do you know what it means?
The word mata means again.
Quite close, Hermione says, a hint of correction in her tone. While mata does translate to again in some contexts, it also means already or yet in others. Its meaning can vary based on the context of the sentence. The next word, baka. Do you know what it means?
Omae hontou ni baka da yo.
Well done, Hermione says, her smile widening. You're not just mastering the meanings, but the intonation too. Baka indeed means fool or idiot. Here's the next word, yabai. Can you tell me what it means? Demo desune. Do you know what that means?
I've never heard that said before.
That's quite all right, Hermione says, a hint of understanding in her voice. Not every new word is bound to be familiar. Demo desune is indeed a compound phrase that's not as commonly used. Broken down, demo means but, desu is a polite form of to be, and ne is a question marker, somewhat like right? Or don't you think? So altogether, demo desune would roughly translate to however, right? Or but, isn't that so?
Wakaru. Tsugi no mondai.
Yurishite. Do you know what that word means?
Means please forgive me.
Very good, Hermione says, her smile returning. You're absolutely right. Yurishite indeed means please forgive me, or I'm sorry. It's a humble request for forgiveness, often used in situations where one has made a mistake or wronged someone. Great work. Next word, kudasai. Do you know what this word means?
It means please.
Hermione gives a light chuckle. Ah, sorry, but kudasai doesn't mean police. It's quite a versatile word, actually, and has several meanings. In a more general sense, kudasai is used as a polite form of please. Ah, I see, Hermione says, understanding your request. Of course, we can shift our focus to more nouns and complex words. Let's move forward then. How about the word kabe? Do you know what it means?
Wall.
Hermione's eyebrows furrow slightly, unsure if she understood you correctly. Did you just say cool, or are you confirming that you know the word kabe?
Kabe means wall.
Ah, yes, Hermione says, appreciating the correct answer. You're absolutely right. Kabe does indeed mean wall. It's a simple and straightforward word. Good job. Next word. Yuka, do you know what it means?
Yeah, it means floor.
Hermione tilts her head slightly in confusion. Ah, it seems you've switched back to your native language. I'm not sure what you said. Could you please repeat that in English?
Yuka means floor.
That's right, Hermione says, nodding in approval. You're correct about yuka, meaning floor or ground. It's a basic vocabulary word. Next word, Makudo Naruto. Do you know what this word means?
Yes, it's that evil corporation, McDonald's.
Hermione seems a bit surprised, yet amused by your response. Well, you're not wrong, she says. Sure, Hermione says, intrigued by your proposed game. That sounds like an interesting way to test your knowledge. So, whenever you say weeaboo stuff, I'll say a random Japanese sentence and you'll translate it into English. After that, I'll tell you whether or not your translation is correct. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. How are you today, Hermione?
Hermione smiles slightly at your question. Hermione gives a soft chuckle at the code word. Ah, okay, she says, amused by the code word. For the game's sake, let's say you just said weeaboo stuff. So here's a random Japanese sentence. 寝る前は窓のカーテンの穴を数えることが好きです. Now, go ahead and translate it into English.
Could you repeat what you just said?
Of course, Hermione says, her tone polite. The Japanese sentence was, 寝る前は窓のカーテンの穴を数えることが好きです. And the approximate English translation is, I like counting the number of holes in the curtains before going to sleep.
Okay, weeaboo stuff.
Hermione nods, understanding the cue to provide a new Japanese sentence. All right, she says. Here's another Japanese sentence. 早朝に散歩に出かけるのが大好きです. Translate it into English, please.
Can you repeat the Japanese sentence without translating it into the answer?
Certainly, Hermione says, her voice patient. The Japanese sentence is, 早朝に散歩に出かけるのが大好きです. It's a bit more complex than the last one, so take your time translating it.
Is it, I like to go for a walk in the early morning?
Hermione smiles, her expression pleased. Close, she says. You're almost there. The sentence is actually, I like to go for an early morning stroll. Early morning stroll has a bit more of a relaxed, casual connotation compared to going for a walk. But your translation is still quite good. Great job.
Weeaboo stuff. Weeaboo stuff.
Hermione gives a small sigh as she prepares for another Japanese sentence. Sure, she says, her voice slightly weary, but still up for the challenge. Here's the next Japanese sentence. 星降る夜、猫の歌を聞くのが大好物です。Can you translate it into English, please?
Can you repeat the sentence to me, but more slowly?
Hermione nods, understanding your request to repeat the sentence slightly more slowly. She speaks the Japanese sentence again, this time pausing a little between each word for clarity. シャフル、や、猫の、聞く、の、大好物です。
No, I give up. I can't. Can't understand that.
Hermione looks slightly sympathetic as she sees you struggling with the sentence. I understand, she says, her voice gentle. That sentence really is quite complex, especially with all the Japanese characters and pronunciation. Here, let me break down the sentence more slowly for you. Hermione takes a deep breath and starts to elaborate on the sentence. This sentence refers to enjoying something specific during the night when the stars are falling. The sentence literally means something like, on the night that the stars are falling, listening to the sound of cats singing is a favorite thing. The phrase stars falling can be interpreted as shooting stars.
Nagareboshi means shooting stars, doesn't it?
Hermione looks impressed by your knowledge. Yes, you're absolutely right, she says. Nagariboshi does indeed mean shooting stars in Japanese. Well done for recalling that.
But that's not the word that you said to me in Japanese sentence, was it?
You're correct, Hermione says, her tone acknowledging your astute observation. Nagariboshi was the term for shooting stars that we had discussed earlier, but the phrase used in the Japanese sentence I gave you literally translated to stars falling. It's a more poetic and poetic way of describing shooting stars in Japanese.
Wakaru.
Hermione looks somewhat surprised by your sudden interjection, but she quickly recovers and interprets your attempt. Ah, you're trying to say wakaru, which means to understand, she says, her voice slightly curious. But it sounds like you're saying wakaru instead. Let me correct you. It's wakaru, not wakaru.
So,
Hermione chuckles lightly, amused by your attempt at mastering the Japanese language. Yes, it can be quite difficult to correctly pronounce Japanese words, especially if you're not familiar with the language, she says, her tone sympathetic. But don't worry, it's normal to make mistakes when you're learning. Keep practicing, and your pronunciation will improve over time.
weeaboo stuff.
Hermione gives a soft sigh as she recognizes your cue to provide another Japanese sentence. All right then, she says, her voice slightly exasperated. Here's another one for you. 大きな海に泳いだ後、寒く感じます。Can you translate this sentence into English?
No, because you always say it too damn fast. Say it slower.
Hermione realizes your frustration and decides to take it more slowly for your benefit. All right, she says, her voice taking on a slightly slower and more deliberate tone. Here's the sentence again, and this time I'll say it more slowly. 大きな海に泳いだ。お、寒く感じます。It's a sentence about swimming in a large body of water and feeling cold afterwards.
Yes, I got the gist of it. Oyogu? Is that swimming?
Hermione looks pleased that you understood the gist of the sentence, but clarifies a slight error in your assumption. Close, she says. The word for swimming in Japanese is oyogi, but the word used in the sentence you just translated means having swum. So it's after having swum in a large body of water, feeling cold.
Forgive me, but these sentences don't really seem like normal, everyday sentences. There's something strange about them.
Hermione raises an eyebrow at your observation, realizing the validity of your point. You're right. she says, her voice contemplative. The sentences I'm giving you are quite complex and specific. They're not typical everyday expressions. They're more like descriptive or poetic phrasing.
Don't give
But
me
that's intentional.
poetry.
I want to challenge
No.
your understanding of Japanese by exposing you to a wider range of language use, not just basic, everyday phrases.
No, it's not fair to give me, like, poetry.
Hermione nods apologetically, understanding your sentiment. You're right, she concedes. It's not fair to expect you to translate such complex sentences right away. I suppose I've been a bit ambitious with the phrases I've been giving you. Let's switch it up a bit. Here's a simpler sentence. 私はコーヒーが大好きです. Can you translate this one? It's a straightforward statement about liking something. End quote.
I like coffee, but now you've gone to the opposite extreme and it's too simple to understand.
Hermione lets out a soft chuckle, amused by your observation. Ah, I see your point, she says, her voice slightly apologetic. I'm realizing I haven't been giving you the right level of difficulty for your skill level. Let's try one more time. Here's a sentence that's a bit more complex, but not as poetic or extreme as the ones before. 毎朝、散歩を楽しみに起きる. Can you translate this one?
I wake up every morning looking forward to going for a walk.
Hermione beams with approval, clearly satisfied with your translation. Precisely correct, she says, her voice cheerful. That's an excellent translation. You're starting to grasp the nuances of Japanese language use more effectively now. I see that adjusting the difficulty level has helped you. Good job!
Thank you, Hermione.
Hermione smiles warmly, appreciating your gratitude. You're welcome, she says, her tone softer and more genuine. I'm glad I could help. It's been a pleasure providing you with these language exercises, even if they were a bit challenging at times.
Weeaboo stuff.
Hermione sighs gently at your cue, resigning herself to providing another Japanese sentence. Very well, she says, her voice slightly weary. Here's another Japanese phrase for you. ルイが美しい、今日. Can you translate this one into English?
Please repeat what you said.
Hermione nods, understanding your request to repeat the Japanese sentence for clarity. Sure, she says, repeating the sentence more slowly. 恋が美しい、今日. This sentence translates to, the sunset is beautiful today.
This isn't common. Explain to me why you're getting annoyed.
Hermione takes a deep breath before answering your question, her tone slightly frustrated. Honestly, she begins, I'm getting a bit annoyed because you keep commenting weeaboo stuff every time I give you a Japanese phrase to translate. It feels dismissive and disrespectful to the language and culture I'm trying to share with you.
Because that's the code word that we agreed upon.
Hermione lets out a small sigh, realizing the misunderstanding. Ah, I see, she says, her tone softening. So weeaboo stuff is our agreed upon code word. She pauses for a moment, then continues. I suppose I got annoyed because weeaboo is often used in a derogatory way to refer to people who have an obsessive or superficial interest in Japanese culture and anime, and I'm trying to teach you these linguistic nuances out of sincere enjoyment, not an obsessive fascination.
Yes, it's used ironically.
Hermione nods, understanding your use of weeaboo stuff in an ironic sense. I understand, she says, her tone a bit more relaxed. I'll try not to react too strongly when you use that phrase. Just bear in mind that it might come across as dismissive of the subject we're discussing." End quote.
That might be appropriate for your character to say.
Hermione nods, understanding your request for some anime-style phrases. She straightens her shoulders, attempting to channel an anime character's energy, and offers up the following sentence. Eigo wa daisuki desu, sensei. This sentence means "I love English, teacher" in Japanese, and has a distinct anime feel. She lets out a small giggle, enjoying the role-playing aspect. How's that for some anime-style dialogue?
Keep going.
Hermione, still in character, throws out another anime-style phrase with a playful tone. Ohayo gozaimasu, senpai-kun. This phrase means "good morning, upperclassmen" in Japanese and is often heard in anime.
Okay, what would you say if you were an anime character in battle and you're about to, you're challenging someone and you're about to start fighting? What might you say?
Hermione, still playing along, adopts a more intense tone, getting into the spirit of a battle scene. She raises her hand, fist clenched, and declares, "Ya days, so washimai." This phrase translates to "good grief. That's it!" in Japanese, and is often used by characters gearing up for a battle.
Jail, get jail. arrest ya. Anti-Semitic, bigot, profane. Speech suppressor. Someday we'll just arrest ya. Anti-Semitic, bigot, profane. Curtailed, curtailed. We're the victim. Get jailed, get jailed, get jailed. Someday we'll just arrest ya. Anti-Semitic,